What's up, people? It's your boy KennyKlutch coming at you. Day number 9, part 2 on dealing with this bucket situation. We all hear about the bucket list, things that you want to do before you die. But think about the things that you want to do while you're still around. You know, think about it in terms of having a bucket that's half full or half empty. You know, either way, it's just your perspective. So we're going to jump right on in. Yesterday we talked about how full is your bucket from Tom Rath and Donald Clifton. Real good information when we're talking about buckets. So let's jump right on into today's concept. We're going to piggyback from what we was talking about yesterday. This is page 53, where we talked about positive psychology and the emergence of the trend of positive psychology and how in turn it went from a shift of negativity, which was looking at what things were wrong with the person and trying to analyze them through concepts or assessments or medication regimens, things of that nature, through more of a paradigm shift, which is basically a shift in perspective on positive psychology, what things are right with you and how could you keep those things right and be at peace with your interactions in the community. All right, so page 52 is an illustration basically discussing how we experience approximately 20,000 individual moments every day, which is really amazing because, you know, any time you think about how much time you have in a day, you still have the same 24 hours, but they're based on all the experiences that you have in a daily individual moment that can last for only a few seconds. So this is just an idea about how circumstantial our moments are and how we spend time in those interactions and how we recollect on them. Okay, jump to the second page, 53. At the risk of greatly oversimplifying a decade of in-depth research, many of the world's most noted scientists have put negativity on trial and have found it guilty. These recent studies show that negative emotions can be harmful to your health and might even shorten your lifespan. Wow. Who wants to shorten their lifespan? You know, so it's always basically on how we think, how we regenerate those thoughts internally, and what we're able to give back to other people, because it's usually more people thinking negative than they are thinking positive, regardless of what the circumstances is. And always remember, there's somebody in a worse situation than you. All right, let's jump back in. We already know that one negative person can ruin an entire workplace, but negative emotions can also destroy relationships, families, and entire careers. Negative emotions. Man, I don't like my job. They ain't giving me enough hours. Oh man, I hate this girl I'm working with. She always bugging me. Man, you got a job. You know, your job close to your house. You can walk to work. You know, different things. So it's just a perspective on how you're looking at it. One side down, the other side is up. So basically thousands of moments every day are spent throughout the world thinking negative. So days upon days over time, you can't expect to have a negative experience through most of your life because of how you're thinking. All right, so here, jump right back on in, same page, 53. According to Nobel Peace winning scientist Daniel Kahneman, Kahneman, we experience approximately 20,000 individual moments in a waking day. Each moment lasts only a few seconds. If you consider any strong memory, positive or negative, you'll notice that the imagery of your mind is actually defined by your recollection of a precise point in time. You know, that's very important, because if you got a bad grade on a test, if somebody cut you off in line, somebody skipped you in the line checking out, you know, different things, you got in a car accident, unfortunately, that moment in time builds parallels on how you will refer to it in the future based on how you think about it in the moment. So make negativity a part of your new way to spend this energy in a corrective manner, because you know that's what two thumbs up is all about. I remember my man Siskel and Ebert, when they used to, you know, think about movies and they'll have two thumbs up, one down, stuff like that. They would both have their own individual ideas on how that movie affected them, but they gave their honest opinion about it based on the moments that they had to recollect it. So when you think about how full is your bucket, that's a self-examining thing. Whether or not you have a hole in your bucket, whether or not your bucket is dry rotted, it got cobwebs in it, you haven't washed it out in a while, it's still up in the attic in a box somewhere. Think about the bucket life and those things that you have yet to do, but also think about the bucket that you're using every day to carry things forward into fruition, and whether or not you're able to give to somebody else, because your bucket may not be full. All right, one last thing we're going to jump right over. All right. This is page 57, illustration on page 56, talking about the magic ratio, which is basically a 5-to-1 ratio. And in this magic ratio, the authors discuss a 5-to-1 situation, which is a synergy, basically meaning 5 positive interactions for every 1 negative interaction. That basically means if you're telling your child, well, here, you ain't gonna be nothing, they have to hear 5 positive things to count out that 1 negative thing that you felt was frivolous enough to tell them. And in so many moments that we spend on a daily basis, telling each other, telling ourselves how negative things are, we have to have a 5 ratio counteraction to tell us more positive things to just even break even, not to get past it, just to break even. I've heard in some studies it was 16-to-1. So when we think about a 5-to-1 ratio, for every 1 negative thought that you think, you need to have 5 more to counteract that just to break even, so you can start and make the choice to think positive again. It's very important. Increasing longevity. Negative emotions can lead to serious problems. Thousands of studies have revealed that damaging results of stress, anger, and hostility on the mind and body. In contrast, page 59, positive emotions can buffer us against adverse health effects and depression. They enable faster recovery from pain, trauma, and illness. And positive emotions can lead to an increase in lifespan. Very important. When we think about going through pain, I like to think about bodybuilders, weightlifters, people who are in tune with pain, but they oversee pain in the physical form and think about getting things done, and they work through the pain. One last thing as we wrap up. This is 58, illustration. Too much positive emotion, more than 13 positive interactions for every 1 negative interaction could decrease productivity. Basically, it's talking about balance. You think about how much positivity you internalize. It's not that you're not going to think about something negative. We don't want to get that misconstrued. When something happens negative, you want to make sure you have enough positive thoughts to mood it out.